Well, welcome to the very first TrekZone.org interviews podcast. We're going to do this monthly and have a chat to anybody and everybody from science fiction. First up this month, Larry Nemecek joins me from the PAC TV studios in Los Angeles. Larry, thanks so much for your time.
Hey, Matt, thanks for having me.
Now, you got started in Star Trek back in the early 90s, writing the Next Generation companion. You've written a couple of episodes of, or you contributed a script to Voyager, and now you're actually acting on a fan series called Star Trek Continues as Dr. McCoy. How did it all come about?
Well, the easy answer is to blame my ninth grade science teacher, Mrs. Pollard, wherever you are. Who shamed me into watching Star Trek because she couldn't believe I wasn't watching it in the after school reruns that we had, where tons and tons and tons of people came to Star Trek if they didn't see it prime time in the 60s. So yeah, I blame Mrs. Pollard, and and then of course the show itself for hooking me in.
Back then, almost unheard of that there's this non-fiction literature to a fictional universe, and looking at that to get deeper into canon.
Well, I mean, we'd had it for the original series. Fans knew all about it. I mean, you had the original series. You know, Bejo's Concordance was there. Stephen Whitfield Poe's Making of Star Trek was a classic book, not just about Star Trek, but the first one that told, the lay audience how TV was made, which I didn't even realize until years later. I went, oh my God, this was like a classic book for anybody that wanted to know about TV. Whether you get in front of a camera for Star Trek or you're writing something down, chances are that whatever you do, somebody 20 and 30 years from now is going to be talking about it. Maybe good, maybe bad. So it's a little bit of a pause for thought.
I mean, you really only have to look at the internet these days and just looking at how much. Star Trek, the Next Generation aired 30 years ago, or 27 years ago now, and we're still talking about it and still referencing the events that happened in season 1 and 2, even if not directly, but certainly it's there.
Yeah, and one of the amazing things about Star Trek, it's like a double-edged sword. It's amazing that Star Trek, the original series, and all the Next Generation and Voyager and DS9 and Enterprise and the JJ movies now, but it's amazing that they are still not only just holding their old fans, but bringing in new ones. And I was telling someone here, it's not just the JJ movies. There are still people, thanks to like Netflix in the States, all the DVDs and the Blu-ray and the remastering, and people think, well, I couldn't take those old goofy 60s effects, but I'll watch it now that they've remastered. Well, you get over that hump and you realize that, okay, maybe you appreciate that, but it was the storytelling and the actors and the chemistry and the charisma and the universe holding together.
One last thing I wanted to chat to you about is your role of Dr. McCoy on the new Star Trek fan series, Star Trek Continues.
Well, anyone that knows me knows that McCoy's always been my favorite character. No one can do it better than D. Kelly, who I got to know a couple of times, meet a few times, and interview. And Carl Urban does an incredible job. He's one of the best in the new cast, I would say, at channeling and not imitating the character. But it's for, not to go into stereotypical, little meme phrases, but it's a dream come true. And I try to honor the character. I hadn't acted in some time, so knocking off the rust to do that and fit it into a schedule has been incredible. But we've shot a second show. We're supposed to shoot another one in March. The Kickstarter was incredible. People love the show. Vic Mignogna, all hats off to him for being the driving force behind this, not just playing Kirk, but producing and assembling the team that does it. And trying to have as high a bar as he can for the acting and the production. It's just touched a nerve.